She had a bad feeling, but she didn't know why. 7 hours, no call, no message. His phone, dead. Her hands were shaking, her heart pounding like thunder. And then the photo fell. That was the moment everything changed. The moment her soul knew something was terribly wrong. There were two friends who grew up together from childhood, Ethan and Jude. One became more successful than the other, Jude. Ethan, who was less successful, came across a beautiful girl at a colleague's birthday party. He only admired her and wanted to talk to her, but he got distracted. When he came back, she was already gone. He was a single guy. One day, Ethan's younger sister told him she was coming over to his home. A few hours later, she arrived. He took his sister out, and after having a lot of fun, they came back home. She was like, "Bro, where is your girlfriend?" He gave her a hilarious smile and said, raising one eyebrow, "I don't have a girlfriend." She said, "Come on, stop lying to me. You haven't introduced any lady to us except the last one that didn't work out. Ever since that lady broke your heart, it seems like you're not yet ready to move on with your life." He smiled and replied, "I haven't come across the right one yet. I believe when it's time, she will find her way to me." So they laughed it off and went to bed. In the morning, Elena woke up, cleaned the house, and made breakfast for her brother, Ethan. When Ethan woke up, he realized the whole place was cleaned up, and he could perceive the delicious aroma of breakfast from downstairs to his room upstairs. He shouted from upstairs, "I can perceive the delicious breakfast you're making. I'm coming." He got up, stretched, did a push-up, took a deep breath, and went into his bathroom to shower. After taking a shower, he went downstairs. When he got there, he said, "Your food always has this aroma that makes the belly dance with joy. I can't wait to eat it. Smells good, as always." He reached out to take a piece of chicken, and she looked at him with eyes that said, "If you eat that, you won't get another." He knew that look. Back when they were still teenagers, their mom would give Elena the responsibility of cooking, and Ethan would walk into the kitchen and try to steal a piece of chicken. She would always give him that same look. So immediately she looked at Ethan with that same expression. He backed off and said, "Come on, there's a lot of chicken. It's not like back then." She smiled and said, "You do remember." They both laughed, and she told him to go ahead. He went ahead, took the chicken, and ate it. Immediately after tasting it, his reaction was, "Tastes good as always. I want my wife to be just as good a cook as you, sis. If she doesn't know how to cook, I'll invite you to teach her," Ethan said. They both laughed. After Elena was done cooking, she served breakfast, and they both ate. She then told him, "You need to get a girlfriend. You can't just keep living alone. Don't you feel lonely?" That day, she suggested, "I have 2 friends who are single. Very good girls." He said, "Nah, I don't want to." But she insisted, "I know you'll like one of these girls. Just take a look," she said. She showed him the photo of one of the ladies named Caroline. Ethan was amazed by her beauty. Elena asked, "Don't you like her?" Ethan sighed, "I think she's beautiful." Elena said, "You think? Don't you like her? She's your spec. She's got everything back and front." Ethan laughed out loud and said, "Let me see the other lady." She turned to the next photo. Ethan stared at it. "This girl looks familiar." Elena asked, "Do you know her?" Ethan replied, "I think I've seen her somewhere before." "Oh, now I remember. I saw her at a colleague's birthday party. She was breathtaking. I wanted to approach her, but I got distracted by something else. By the time I came back, she was already gone. I felt bad, but I just let it go." Elena smiled. Ethan asked, "Why are you smiling?" Elena said, "You said you like her. Her name is Angel. She's beautiful, smart, and very nice. She's my best friend, and she's single." Ethan said, Angel? You mean an actual angel?" Elena laughed out loud. "Come on, not an actual angel? You joke about everything?" Ethan smiled. "She is beautiful. I like her, but I'd like to get to know her first." Elena replied, "All right, bro. I'll talk to her and plan a meetup so you two can meet, talk, and see if it will work out between you both. Bro, make sure it works out. Don't let me down. I like her for you." So she went ahead and started making arrangements for them to meet. After Elena introduced Angel and Ethan, they decided to go on a date. They soon found out that they matched each other's vibes perfectly. Ethan made her laugh a lot because he was naturally funny and easygoing. After the successful date, Ethan was very happy. Meanwhile, Ethan's friend, who was much richer than him, named Jude, had just returned from a trip. He contacted Ethan to let him know he was back. Ethan was excited. He informed Angel, who was now his girlfriend, that his friend had just returned from his travels and he was going to meet up with him. Ethan met with Jude, and both of them had a lot of fun. It had been a while since they last saw each other, though they had been communicating occasionally. Ethan had told Jude a few things about Angel, how amazing she was, and how lucky he felt to have her in his life. After having fun together, Jude said to Ethan, "Man, when will you introduce me to this woman? Angel, 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 the one you told me makes your heart beat faster?" He teased Ethan, and they both laughed. Ethan replied, "Soon, bro, very soon." Then Ethan said, "Well, I need to head home now. It was really nice seeing you again after such a long time. They shared a laugh and a handshake, and Ethan left. When he got home, he was surprised to find that Angel was already there. Before he went to meet Jude, Ethan and Angel had already planned a date for that evening. Earlier that day, Angel had asked him for his house key. He hadn't questioned her about what she needed it for. Since it was the first time she had ever asked for it, he simply gave it to her. Now, returning home, Ethan was pleasantly shocked to see that Angel had made dinner and decorated the house beautifully. She had brought the date home. He was speechless. This was the first time a woman had done something this beautiful for him, treated him so special. All his life, he had always been the one doing and giving. Aside from his sister, who treats him like a prince, no other woman he had ever dated had treated him the way Angel did. Angel wore his favorite color, white. He couldn't stop staring at her. He just stood still looking at Angel, and she smiled. Tears fell from his eyes, rolling down his cheeks. He walked slowly toward Angel, locked eyes with her, pulled her close to him, and whispered into her ear, "Thank you. You are the most beautiful woman I have ever met. No one has ever treated me this way. You are the first. You make me feel something no other woman has ever made me feel." He caressed her cheek. "You are indeed an angel. My angel sent from above." He was emotional. Angel placed her hand on his face and wiped his tears. "Ethan, I have never felt this way for anyone. You are the first, and sometimes I get so scared of losing you because this feels too good to be true. I wasn't certain about you at first, but as time passed, I got to know you better. The kind of man you are one in a million. Having you in my life is a blessing from God." She took his hand and placed it on her chest. "My heart beats for you. I belong to you. I love you, Ethan." Ethan replied softly, "I love you more." Angel held Ethan's hand and walked him to the dinner table. Both sat down, and Ethan could perceive the aroma of the food. It smells so good," he said. Angel smiled. He tasted the food, spaghetti. Ethan looked at her and said, "God, this tastes so good." He began eating. Angel watched him and smiled. Ethan wondered what she was thinking. He paused and asked, "Are you okay?" She smiled and replied, "I'm just happy." She began to eat. Ethan stared at her, admiring how gently she ate. Angel noticed he was looking at her, but she continued eating. Ethan reached for her chair. Angel asked, "What are you doing?" He gently pulled her closer to him and whispered, "Let me feed you." Angel, feeling shy, replied, "All right." He fed her and she fed him in return. Ethan kept feeding her, unable to take his eyes off her. He was completely mesmerized. They both paused. They started staring at each other, drawing closer and closer. As they moved even closer, Ethan kissed her. He pulled back and said softly, "I'm sorry." Angel responded, "Don't be, Ethan. I'm not sorry." He pulled her in again and kissed her passionately. They made love. It was a fantastic night. The next day, Ethan woke up early. He stared at Angel. Her beauty was out of this world. She was everything he wanted in a woman. He gazed at her and whispered, "If this is a dream, I don't ever want to wake up from it." He kissed her gently and went downstairs to prepare breakfast for her. He made tea, toast bread with egg and sauce. After preparing it, he served Angel breakfast in bed. She opened her eyes and saw Ethan standing there with a tray. Still half asleep with messy hair, she placed one hand on her head and scratched it. She was awake, but still drowsy. Ethan kept staring at her. She made a sleepy, funny face. Ethan just kept looking at her. Gosh, my woman is beautiful. Ethan had fallen so deeply in love with Angel, he was completely lost in her. Angel rubbed her eyes and noticed Ethan watching her. She felt a little shy and uncomfortable. She asked, "What are you doing?" He smiled and said, "You're so gorgeous when you sleep. Everything about you is just so beautiful." Angel smiled and made another funny face. Ethan laughed. "I love that face you make." Angel asked, "Really?" Ethan said, "Yes." Angel smiled. "All right, I'll always do that then." She looked to her side and saw the breakfast. "You made breakfast? I'm sorry I didn't wake up early." Ethan moved closer and said, "You don't have to be sorry. You were tired and I didn't want to wake you up. You sleep so peacefully and it was amazing watching you. You were tired after a fantastic night. We both were. You deserve all the rest." Ethan leaned in closer and whispered, "I loved last night. It was the best day of my life." "You're sweet?" Angel replied, Me too." She hugged him tightly. She got down from the bed and went to brush her teeth. After brushing, she came back to bed. She tasted the sauce and was shocked at how good it tasted. She looked at him and said, "This tastes so good. I can't believe it. You're good at cooking." She began eating fast. She had a piece of bread close to her lips, and Ethan wanted to wipe it off with his hand, but she stopped him. She told him to use his lips instead. Ethan leaned close and wiped the bread off her lips with his own. She stared at him. She fed him breakfast. They both smiled, so happy and full of joy. Then Ethan said, "I'm going to get ready for work. I'll be back early. I'll also be meeting with my friend Jude today. I think he mentioned he'll be visiting me later." Angel said, "All right." Ethan picked his clothes and got dressed. After dressing up, he went downstairs. Angel followed him downstairs. Ethan said, "Wow, see you later. Take care." She replied, "Take care, drive safely." Ethan leaned in, kissed her, and winked. "See you later, babe." Then he left. After Ethan was done with work, Jude called him. He picked up the call. "Ethan, how are you doing? I'm coming over to visit. Are you done with work?" "Yes, I'm done with work. I'm on my way home now." Jude replied, "All right, I'll come over in 2 hours." Ethan responded, "All right, bro." Ethan went straight to his car, got in, and drove home. When he got home, Angel had already prepared dinner. Angel ran to him and gave him a hug. "I missed you," she said. Ethan replied, "I missed you more." He picked her up and kissed her, then carried her to their room. He said, "My friend I told you about will be here soon." She nodded. "All right." Ethan changed his clothes and they both went downstairs. 30 minutes later, they heard the sound of the doorbell. Angel went to open the door. As soon as Jude saw Angel, he was speechless for a few seconds, then said, "Is Ethan home?" "I'm Jude, his friend." Angel called out, "Babe, your friend is here." She told Jude, "Come on in." Ethan walked toward the door. Jude saw him and they greeted each other with a handshake and a brotherly hug. Ethan said, "Welcome to my home, bro." Jude smiled and asked, "She's the girl you've been telling me about?" Ethan replied, "She's my woman." Jude stretched out his hand to shake her. Angel did the same. Jude said, "My brother's told me all about you. Seriously, he's always singing your praises. I see now that he wasn't lying." Ethan and Angel both laughed. Then they all went to the dining area to eat. They began having dinner while chatting and enjoying each other's company. After having dinner, they joked around. Jude then told Ethan, "I'll be going now. I need to check on my company. It's not far from here." Ethan replied, "Oh, that's great. All right, bro. Thank you for visiting." Ethan walked Jude to his car. They both greeted each other one last time and Jude drove off. Ethan went back inside, grabbed Angel from behind, kissed her neck, and rested his head on her shoulder. Ethan looked at Angel. She seemed a bit off. "Angel, what are you thinking about?" he asked. "Is something wrong? You don't like my friend visiting?" He pulled her closer. "Why are you silent?" She said, "Nothing. I just couldn't wait for him to leave so I could have you all to myself." Ethan smiled. "Now you have me all to yourself." He carried her upstairs. The next morning, after Ethan had gone to work, Angel was lost in thought, remembering what happened during dinner the previous night. Ethan's friend Jude had been staring at her. He kept looking at her in a way that made her uncomfortable. Ethan hadn't noticed. Angel kept thinking about it. Something felt off about Jude, and she didn't like him. She was saying it within herself, trying to make sense of the uneasy feeling. Then she dismissed the thought. "It can't be," she whispered to herself. "Maybe it was nothing." A few minutes later, she heard the doorbell ring. She said to herself, "Ethan? Back so soon? Maybe he forgot something." She ran to the door and opened it, only to find Jude standing on the doorstep. She was shocked. "What are you doing here?" Jude asked. "Look, where's Ethan?" Angel replied, "He already went to work." "Did you call him?" she asked. Jude responded, "No, I didn't. I was around here at my company. I just decided to stop by since I was nearby." Angel said, "Oh, he's not at home. I'll inform him that you visited when he arrives." Jude said, "All right, thank you." But Jude was still looking at her. She noticed and quickly dismissed the conversation. "I'm doing something inside," she said and closed the door. She felt uncomfortable. Why is he always looking at me that way? She dismissed the thought again and went ahead to keep herself busy in the kitchen. This went on for months. Anytime Jude visited, he always looked at her in that same uncomfortable way. She kept thinking to herself, should I tell Ethan? But she didn't want to tell Ethan because she didn't want to ruin their friendship. Sometimes she wanted to speak up, but she held back because of the respect Ethan had for Jude. Jude was lusting after Angel. He always thought about her. He was deeply interested in her. He started thinking about her all the time, and it only got worse. Sometimes he would visit even when Ethan wasn't home. One day, Angel got upset. "Why do you always visit when Ethan isn't home? Don't you ever call him before coming over?" Jude gave an excuse. "I have a company construction site nearby. That's why I visit, just to see my brother." Jude went home that day angry. He couldn't stop thinking about Angel. He started dreaming about her, sometimes dreams of holding her, kissing her, doing all sorts of things with her. The feelings grew stronger and stronger. Then one day, he said to himself, "I want Angel. I want her." He started acting off. Ethan noticed that Jude had started acting off, so he told Angel about it. Angel wanted to tell him that she didn't want Jude to visit their home anymore, that Jude kept looking at her and staring at her in a strange way. Jude also began to notice that he had been acting weird, so he decided to explain himself. He apologized to Ethan, saying he knew he had been behaving strangely, and that it was because something terrible had happened to someone close to him. Ethan responded, "I'm sorry to hear that. Just calm down. Everything will be fine." After that conversation, everything seemed to return to normal. 3 months later, both of them were assigned the same project, which required them to travel together for 2 weeks. It was a big project, and at the same time, Ethan was planning to propose to Angel. So he said to himself, "After this project, I will propose to Angel." After informing Angel about the project, he told her that he and Jude were the ones going. She said, "All right, but her expression turned sad. Ethan asked, "Why are you sad?" She replied, "I'm going to miss you a lot." Ethan said, "I know you will. I'll always be in contact with you." That night, tears welled up in her eyes. Ethan pulled her close, wiped her tears, kissed her, and they made love. The next morning, Ethan picked up his camera and started practicing how he would propose to Angel once he returned from the project. 3 days later, Angel helped Ethan pack some of the important things he would need for the trip. Angel walked Ethan to the door. They stared at each other for a few seconds. Then she suddenly ran into Ethan's arms. Ethan hugged her passionately and whispered, "I'll miss your smile, your smell, your touch." Then he kissed her and walked out the door. The driver Ethan had called arrived and took him to meet the rest of the team. When he got there, he saw that Jude was already present. They joked around with each other and then set off. A few hours later, after arriving at their work site, Ethan immediately called Angel to inform her that they had just reached the destination. He joked with her, "I'm missing you already." Angel smiled over the phone and replied, "I miss you too. Please stay safe and don't forget that I love you." Ethan responded, "I love you more, my angel. Please take care of yourself." Ethan continued, "Well, babe, I'll call you later. I'm tired after the long trip and want to get some rest." Angel said, "All right, babe, talk to you later." After the call ended, Ethan turned around and saw Jude standing behind him. Jude smiled and said, "Such a beautiful relationship. I want a relationship like yours. I want my woman to be as beautiful as yours." Ethan laughed and replied, "Don't worry, bro. God will answer your prayers. He won't just give you a woman as beautiful as mine, but even more than mine. Yours will come." They both laughed, then went inside to rest. The next morning, Ethan woke up early to coordinate with the team and discuss how the work would be done. They began working while Jude stood nearby observing. His role was to monitor the project. Ethan was the lead professional engineer in charge of the entire operation. The project had been assigned to Ethan through Jude's company. After they finished work for the day, each worker returned to their rooms. Ethan sat outside his room chatting with Angel. They joked and flirted with each other. Ethan said, "Come on, don't do this to me now. You know I miss you already. Or do you want me to disappear into our bedroom right now? Pull you close to me and make you feel my warmth?" Angel teased, "Come over, I'm waiting." They both laughed warmly. Unknownly to them, Jude was standing at the corner listening to their conversation. He stood there silently, admiring Angel while eavesdropping on the intimate exchange. After Ethan and Angel finished talking, Ethan said, "I wish you a beautiful night's sleep. I love you, my angel." Angel responded, "I love you more, Ethan." They both blew each other a kiss through the phone. Then Ethan ended the call. Immediately after, Jude walked up to him. Ethan looked up and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Jude replied, "I'm good, bro." Ethan, "I thought you might be sleeping already." Jude, "I couldn't sleep. I decided to go for a walk and I saw you sitting out here." Ethan, "Did you hear what I was discussing with Angel?" Jude, "No, I didn't. I only heard you say, 'I love you' to Angel, and I think she said it back. You guys are a beautiful couple. I wish I had what you both have." Ethan, "Yours will come, bro, with time." Jude, "Sure, I believe it will come, Ethan. I'm planning to propose to Angel when I get back home." Jude, "Wow, you want to propose to her? That's amazing. Congratulations, bro." Ethan, "Bring down your voice." Jude, "Come on, that's a great thing. My friend is going to propose to the love of his life. Beautiful. I'll be your best man." Ethan, "Sure you are." Ethan continued, "I think we should get some rest now. It's late and I need to wake up early for work. By 7 a.m., I want to be up. It's already 10 p.m. Jude, "All right, till tomorrow then, Ethan. Good night." Ethan, "Good night, Jude." Jude went back to his room, but he was furious. Jude, to himself, "No, you won't get married to Angel. She is mine. No, that can't happen." Out of anger, he punched a mirror with his fist, shattering it. Jude, whispering, "I'll make sure Angel is mine. I'll do anything, to make sure she is mine." His fist was slightly bleeding. He sat on his bed, then laid down and began imagining things, holding Angel, pulling her close to his body, kissing her neck and down to her body. He was lost in his thoughts, fantasizing about her lips. Jude, whispering, "Angel will be mine." Then he finally drifted off to sleep. The next morning, Ethan woke up early and went to each of the workers' rooms to inform them that it was time to begin work. When he passed by Jude's room, he noticed that Jude was still inside, so he knocked on the door. Jude walked over and opened it. "Ethan, did I wake you up?" Jude, "No, I've been up." Ethan immediately noticed the wound on Jude's fist. Ethan, "What happened to your hand?" Jude, "Nothing." Ethan glanced behind him and saw the shards of a broken mirror on the floor. Ethan, "Is that a broken mirror on your floor?" Jude, "It's nothing. Yesterday when I got back, I decided to take a bath. After I finished showering, I stepped near the mirror and accidentally spilled water on the floor. I almost slipped, and when I reached out to stop myself from falling, I grabbed the mirror and it shattered, cutting my hand." Ethan, "You need to be careful and stop being so careless." Ethan took the first aid box and helped Jude dress his wound. Ethan, "You can get some rest now. I'm going back to work." As Ethan walked back to work, a thought crossed his mind. Ethan, thinking, what Jude said doesn't make sense. If he grabbed the mirror, his palm should be the one bleeding, not his fist. This dude is weird. Anyway, he shrugged it off and continued with his duties, supervising the work. Before long, 13 days had passed since the project began. On the final day of the project, the entire team came together. They cooked, ate, and celebrated as one. Jude stood up and complimented the team for a job well done. Meanwhile, Ethan called Angel, teasing her playfully. Ethan, I can't wait to get home and hold you in my arms. Angel, I can't wait either. I miss you like crazy. I'm waiting for you, babe. Angel then showed Ethan the dress she planned to wear for him when he returned. Ethan, I love that dress. It looks so good. Put it on now. Angel, laughing, not now. I'll put it on when you get home because I want you close to me when I wear it. Ethan, all right, I can't wait. Tomorrow I'm coming home. You are mine. Angel, and you are mine. While the team was busy celebrating on one side, Ethan was on the other side, having a video call with Angel. He showed her the cheerful gathering and how everyone was celebrating the successful completion of the project. Angel, are you the only one there? Ethan, yes. Angel started flirting with him playfully, making Ethan smile. Just then, Ethan noticed Jude approaching. He quickly brought down his phone. Jude, are you busy? I'm sorry for disturbing you. I saw you sitting here alone while the team was celebrating, so I came to check if something was wrong. Ethan, nothing is wrong. I'm just spending some quality time with my wife. Jude, all right, go on. Jude walked away, frowning. In his mind, he muttered darkly, Jude, thinking, in your grave. Ethan brought the phone back out. Ethan, sorry about that, babe. It was Jude. Angel, I heard everything. She blushed. Ethan, you heard everything? Angel, smiling. Yes, I did. You called me your wife. I love the sound of it. Ethan smiled. Ethan, I love you. Angel, I love you too. Ethan, see you tomorrow, babe. Take care. Angel, take good care of yourself and come back to me in one piece. I love you. Get some rest. Ethan, I love you more. Good night. As early as 7 a.m., Ethan was already awake. He prepared his belongings and got ready to leave. He went to Jude's room. Jude was already up and prepared as well. Ethan, wow, you're already up at this time. This is the first time I've seen you awake this early. I guess you can't wait to get home. At the island where they had been working, they needed to cross the water with a speedboat to reach the other side of the mainland, where they would then board a flight home. The rest of the team boarded 2 speedboats. Jude and Ethan shared one boat. Jude handed Ethan a life jacket and even helped him put it on. They got into the speedboat and soon it began to move. The rest of the team was ahead in the other boats. Jude and Ethan's speedboat followed behind. As their boat reached the center of the water, it suddenly capsized. The strong current swept the driver away. Ethan clung tightly to a small rope on the side of the overturned boat. Jude managed to grab hold of a larger rope and quickly pulled himself onto the top of the capsized speedboat. Ethan struggled in the water, trying to push himself up. He looked up at Jude, silently pleading for help. Jude, already balanced on the overturned boat, didn't respond. Ethan noticed his life jacket was dragging him down. It was damaged. Ethan, pleading, "Help me, please!" Tears welled up in his eyes as he looked up at Jude again. Ethan, why? Why are you doing this? Jude stared at him with deep hatred in his eyes. Without saying a word, he struck Ethan on the head with an iron rod he had managed to retrieve. Ethan gasped, losing grip of the rope as he blacked out. The strong current dragged his unconscious body away. A few minutes later, a rescue boat that had seen the capsized vessel from the distance arrived at the scene. Jude immediately began to act terrified and shaken, pretending to panic over the incident. The rescue team helped him onto their boat. A search operation began immediately for the missing driver and Ethan. Back home by 6 p.m., Angel was feeling deeply unsettled. She was pacing around her room filled with anxiety. She didn't know why, but something didn't feel right. She kept calling Ethan's phone, but it wasn't going through. She had tried calling earlier, but assumed it was just a poor signal. Now, the silence was becoming unbearable. She kept trying and trying, but Ethan's phone still didn't go through. Her heart raced in panic. She grabbed her phone again and quickly dialed Ethan's sister, Elena.